All right, injuries that we had in the game. Stigger's knee, Isaiah, I'm sure he'll be in concussion protocol. Simpson had a knee. Brees had a knee. I think that was about it when it comes to the injuries. When it comes to this game, highly disappointed on the way that we came out to allow this team to come out and score. I think on the first 6 drives was not good. Offensively, we were stagnant. Also, we allowed them to pressure the quarterback through another interception this game, which was not good. And, man, I always talk about how we come out and we play with effort. Today was probably the one time I feel like our effort wasn't as good as I would want to be. And that's just me not BSing you guys, just being on this. I didn't think the effort was where it needed to be. We have to figure that out. We have one more showing, all right, against a good team, against a playoff team. And we have to get ourselves going, practice this week, and get ourselves going. That's just about it. That's what we have to do because today was definitely not good enough. So any questions?
Aaron, when you see the 35-3 score at half and it was 300-something yards from them,
Yeah.
do you worry at all that guys are checking out a little bit as the season comes to a close?
Not worried about them checking out. I'm more worried about just the psyche of just seeing 35-3. Because at some point, man, it's not about the score anymore. It's about the pride that you go out there and play with. And, again, I'm always going to talk about how our guys play with effort. But today I didn't see the effort that I felt like we needed to go out there and compete at a high level.
You didn't think the effort was there. How was the strategy? How were the X's and O's today?
I actually thought that we had a really good plan going to this game. I really did, on both sides and on special teams. And those guys went on, they made plays. I give those guys credit. They made plays. They for their defense, they hit our quarterback quite a bit, and they made plays on the ball quite a bit. Their offense, man, their quarterback, and I've said this for a long time, he's playing at a high level. And, man, they caught some balls on us in man-to-man coverage that, you give them credit for. The ball that Diggs caught, over Stiggs, I mean, that was just a hell of a play by him. On some of our young guys in the back end, they made hell of a plays. We missed some tackles that we shouldn't miss, right, that also showed up. So I don't want to say it's truly the X and O's. I just think their guys made plays, and that's what this game's about, fellas. I mean, playmakers make plays, and those guys made more plays than us.
When you talk about pride and effort, like how disappointing is that when you've been saying I'm evaluating everybody at this point? How disappointing?
Yeah, that's very disappointing, to see that. But I'm always say this, I'm upset with the effort, but I'm also upset with us as coaches too, though. And again, it's going to start with me, of getting these guys ready to play against a hell of a team for our last home game, right, this season. And that bothers me. It does, in front of our fans, to let them see, how we end this season, and we end it like that. It bothers me.
This is the, at least statistically, it's like the worst December in history in terms of point differential with the four blowouts in a row. What can you, just to be in this position, kind of looks dark from the outside? I mean, what is it like for you?
And I totally understand that. I really do. But I would say that there's a lot of things that I think that we've improved. And that's more from the inside than what everybody see when it comes to stats and things like that. But I know we still have a long way to go, and it's not a good look, when you give up that many points and then not score at all. And I'm not one that's going to sit here and blame a rookie quarterback. I'm not going to sit here and blame injuries and things like that. I'm not going to do it. Because I think all those guys are well versed to go out there and compete at a high level, and we didn't all get it done, coaches and players. We all did not get it done.
What happened with Tyrod being out today, and would he be available for you next
Well,
week?
he had a personal issue, and I don't want to answer that until I get ready to talk to him about next week.
With Brady Cook, he was kind of a project coming out of Missouri.
And he had accuracy issues there. He has accuracy issues here. What made you go with him in the number 3 slot?
Say that one more time.
Why did you go with him as the number 3, with him being such a project who needed so much?
We had Justin as our starter, and Tyrell was our backup, and he did some really good things in training camp. Between him and Martinez, we felt like he won the job. And I think everyone saw that throughout the preseason. So we felt like he would be a really solid number 3 for him to continue to improve. Now, when things went, somewhat crazy and both of our quarterbacks went down, I mean, him getting a chance to play for us was an option that we want to see him play. And listen, it hasn't been to everyone's liking, and I think he will say that also. But he's a young guy. I do think he still have the traits to be a good quarterback in this league. He just got to continue to get reps.
When we talked to Aaron back during before the season started, you're talking about the goals to win and what the goals to win now.
Absolutely.
Not putting words. I imagine you didn't see this kind of a season coming. So when you see 3-13 mark, a 3-13 record, how do you process that and stomach that?
You know what? And I'll go back to that because I don't think I think we all got to be crazy to think that someone would answer a question saying that we're not ready to win now. So I think every coach would say that. And before you play any games, man, you have this feeling of how you go through training camp. You go to OTAs, you go through training camp, you feel good about everything. And then as the season starts and things don't go your way, the only thing you think about is like what are the things you have to do to get better, right, for the next season. And that's what I think about quite a bit. And there's a number of things I have in my head that I keep to myself, and then with me and Mooj and things like that. But the only thing I think, man, how do we get better? How do we improve? How do we make sure that the players that is going to be a part of what we have understand this foundation that we're building? And I think a lot of guys do. I really do. I think they believe in exactly what we're trying to do. Man, we just got to get over that hump to be able to get to the next level of where we want to be as far as winning games. But I do know this. I'm a huge believer in everything that we're doing. Listen, I know the record does not show that, but I'm confident moving forward that we'll be just fine.
Brees, a two-parter. One, him going over 1,000. Brees going over 1,000, getting the long run at the end, and also, perhaps more significantly, his injury. Does it look like it might be a serious injury?
You know, that's hard to tell right now. I've said this during the week. Me and Brees, man, we're happy we got the 1,000. But I think, well, I know he will want wins more than just 1,000 right now. So, but a good accomplishment for him. But we have a lot of work to do, just in general, in all 3 phases. For me to sit here and say, man, I'm just, gung ho about 1,000 yards right now. To be honest with you.
What do you say to Woody when you see him in the locker room after the game or tomorrow when you talk to him? I imagine he's very frustrated right now with what he saw today. And
just as I am too.
Just as you are. But, he sits here, the stadium's filled with Patriots fans, chanting MVP for their quarterback, and, it's 35-3 at halftime. What's your message to Woody?
I think Woody knows just as well as I'm not going to BS him about anything at all. And I think that's the one good thing about our relationship is we all going to be straightforward with each other. And the number one thing is we got to get better. And I think that's obvious. We have to get better. And then we have to just talk. So what are those things that we have to do to make sure we get better? And those are some things I definitely keep, between us and even with Mooj. And I think we put our heads together and we start to figure out, what steps we got to take so we can accomplish that. I do know there's a belief in me. I do know I believe in him. And that's why I'm glad I took this job. It's because of ownership and what he's about, what Mooj is about, what this organization is about. And listen, the one thing that I think about on a daily basis, how do we get over this hump so we can be a team that's going to win continuously? And that's all I think about. And I think he knows that too. So that would be my message. I'm disappointed. I know he's disappointed. So now we got to figure out what do we do to make sure we get over that hump and move forward.
Thanks, everybody.
All right.